Yo, Hideyuki here. The Rebelling Rose, the Messenger Effects, the one born to be berserk, returning yet again with another excellent video. Today I wanted to discuss why anime feels so soulless now. Modern anime has been continuing to take a massive nosedive, and it's very obvious. There's no hiding that fact. And the sad thing is, you have to realize it. I mean, even the most casual loser has to know by now. They have to know that anime is not what it used to be. And why is that? Why is anime so soulless now? How in the fuck did we get to this point? There's many different reasons. Oversaturation is probably one of the biggest ones, where you have certain series being overrun in the entire anime sphere. Isekai, for example, has just completely oversaturated, the medium. These studios are obsessed with isekai, man. They cannot stop making isekai to save their lives. Every time they see a loser hyping up an isekai, they're like, oh man, we gotta get to the drawing board. We gotta get another season out, man. Whoa, whoa, we got another isekai coming on the way, man. Whoa, we gotta do it, man. Solo Leveling was such a big hit. Let's keep making isekai, man. We gotta do it, man. Whoa, whoa. That's how they are. They get ecstatic as fuck. Meanwhile, everyone else has to suffer, and they're just looking at it at disgust, like, I didn't sign up for this. This is not what I wanted from anime. But because these casual frauds continue to watch that stuff, that's all these studios put out. They don't have to try anymore. Anime used to be about passion. It used to be about giving it your all, putting everything you have on the line, no matter how it turns out. It wasn't something where it's like, let's go chase a trend, let's try to make it the most successful anime ever. No, there was a time where people had drive to push a story that they wanted to tell, to beautifully orchestrate awesome animation, to give us beautiful music, great characters. But sadly, that's not the case anymore. That time of anime being enriching and plentiful and having a variety of what you can pick and choose from is over now. These studios only care about the numbers. They're going straight by the books. They don't have to put their all into it anymore. There's only a few studios out there that actually care about anime as a medium. There's only a couple of things out there that are actually decent. You got the Scarlet movie coming. You have Genosia. You have Ninja vs. Gokudo. You have Bullet Bullet. You have the Chainsaw Man movie. Incredible anime all coming out this year. But that's only a few. That's very minor. When you look at the majority, when you look at a whole, the anime is not being put out like that. Instead, we get Uma Musume. Instead, we get seasons upon seasons of trash that no one asks for, like Kaiju number 8, like Go Go Loser Ranger. Right? Like, no one wants to watch that garbage. But because it was popular for a little while, of course those studios aren't going to jump on that. And they're not going to stop until it flops. And see, that's another thing. These studios are going to keep going until something flops so hard in their face, they're like, fuck. Oh, we got to do something about this, man. We can't operate this way anymore. I mean, boss, this is crazy. Ain't no way we can survive in this environment. We're spending all this money. We're working our animators to death on bullshit that no one's going to watch, that no one's going to care about. And the higher-ups are like, I see your point. I guess we have to do something about this finally. We can't bullshit our way through anymore. That's the only scenario I see when it comes to improving anime. We've got to rise up and stand up against the nonsense that's being put out. We got to stop paying attention to these garbage anime that have no value whatsoever. other than getting some cheap online hype. And that's another thing that I've noticed is the artificial online hype that we see, because it has a couple of views on YouTube because Twitter losers are tweeting about it, because people are posting it around on Instagram. It gives this facade that the anime is actually doing well, that people actually care about it. But what people don't realize is the internet is not the same as in being in real life. It doesn't translate exactly the same way. And once you see the internet fame and hype go away, when you actually go out on the streets, right? When you actually ask people about these series, they're like, "Oh, hey man, did you hear about this such and such series?" They're like, "Huh? What the fuck? What's that? I've never seen that in a day of my life." Or it'll be like, "Hey, have you ever seen this anime? What do you think of it?" "Oh yeah, I saw it, but I don't really remember what happened. I'm just waiting for the next anime to come out that's just as hype." That's how they respond. The internet has given this false idea that anime is somewhat popular, I guess, because everybody's talking about it online, so everybody has to know about it. But in reality, only a certain group of people really know about it. If you go beyond that, folks don't really care about that stuff. Online hype can only last you so long. It's nothing more than a fad. It doesn't translate into being something legendary where people know your name and they still talk about you for years and years to come. And it's harder to stand out with the internet because, you know, that's the main source of promotion now. But the internet is such a quick and go thing, so it's harder to create a name for yourself beyond the internet. It may seem contradictory because anime is so popular now on an international scale, and it is because of the internet. But at the same time, you have this dichotomy where the internet did rise anime to be popular, to be international, for people all over the globe to know about it and to experience it. But at the same time, it's also closed people in. It also blinds them into believing that their favorite anime is being watched everywhere and that everyone knows about it. And, a couple of years from now, they're still going to be talking about it. But no, the internet is very fast. It's very quick. You talk about one thing in that moment and then it's gone. You go straight to the next thing. It's a lot faster than what we had with television, right? With radio. It's a lot different. It's not the same thing. When you're able to just binge these shows like crazy, you don't retain that information. You're not watching that series week by week anymore. You're not having those discussions and, hanging out with your friends, your buds, or what have you, and just having a great time talking about it. You see it all in one go. You talk about it for one night, maybe a week, and then you forget about it. And then you're waiting for the next series to drop. People expect to stick to this binge model. And while binging is good to catch up on older series, it's really not good for modern anime because it kills the motivation. It kills the momentum. It kills the longevity. But yeah, with that being said, this is the reason why modern anime feels very soulless, man. It is definitely not the same. Definitely not what it used to be. And, there's nothing wrong with that. But we can't sit idly by and pretend that that's not the case, that it's not happening. That is the reality. That is the harsh truth. Anime has fallen off like I've never seen before. You know, Manga to this day is doing far, far better. Now, don't get me wrong, manga still has that problem of, series getting overhyped and overrated and then end up flopping and getting canceled in magazines and what have you. And manga's in a weird place too, but it's nowhere near as bad as anime. Like, not all the casual frauds have overrun manga yet. There's still great series being pushed out that those losers haven't caught on to yet. And thank goodness, if that were to happen to manga, oh man, we'll truly be screwed at that point. But yeah, with anime, Yeah, it's rough. It's very rough, I gotta say. But anyways, with that being said, Hideyuki here, the Rebelling Rose, and until next time, I'll see you.